Okay, I'd like to make this video as a continuation of the last one on exaltation and debilitation and what my opinions are about the sun and the moon, because at this point that's what they are, opinions. I have a witness, but I'm looking for the other witness, so I'll tell you where I stand. In tropical astrology and even in the Vedic, the sun is exalted in Aries, cardinal fire, and debilitated in Libra, which is opposite Saturn, right? Saturn is exalted in Libra and debilitated in Aries. I have a problem with that because of tradition, right? Tradition states that Aries starts the zodiac, when in fact in alchemy the eastern gate is always at the spring equinox. So right now our zodiac starts right about here in Pisces, almost in Aquarius. This last little line here is where we are. So this is the eastern gate. That's who's in power. Pisces, and Virgo holds the western gate, the fall. So looking at it from that perspective, you would think the sun is exalted in Pisces and debilitated in Virgo, like Venus is. Okay? Now, there's the story of the sun. The sun dies 3 days at the winter solstice. Well, the winter solstice now is right here in Sagittarius, almost in Scorpio. It's that last degree of the mutable cross. So the sun would be debilitated here, which would make it exalted in Gemini. At the summer solstice, the sun is exalted at the summer solstice. So in my opinion, the sun is debilitated in Sagittarius and exalted in Gemini. That's what I think. I don't know. I haven't found the other witness. But I definitely do not agree with the sun is exalted in Aries. If at the time Aries held the eastern gate, over 2,000 years ago, then if the sun is exalted at the eastern gate, then I haven't found which one yet. Is it the summer solstice or is it the eastern gate? That is my dilemma, but I'm for sure it's no longer Aries. Now the moon. The moon always plays the dynamic opposite the sun. So again, I'm left with the same dilemma. The moon is considered exalted in Taurus and debilitated in Scorpio by tradition. But we look at the sun and the moon as one, right? Yin yang. The masculine and the feminine. So at that point, whatever the sun is, the moon would be opposite. I'll explain. We're in water world, Pisces. The moon rules water. So if the eastern gate is the exaltation of the sun, and the western gate is the debilitation of the sun, then the moon would hold the other axis of the mutable cross. Likewise, because the mutable cross is currently on the celestial axis, then Gemini and Sagittarius would be the moon. So they would actually switch places. In one depiction, the sun is Gemini and Sagittarius, and the moon is Pisces, Virgo. And the other one, the sun Pisces, Virgo, the moon Gemini, Sagittarius. Or the sun is, the moon has its own calendar. It has its own everything. Every culture, after the flood, every culture was under lunar astrology. You couldn't see the stars during the day. We're just now moving back into a solar calendar. And it will be a solar calendar that we're ruled by in Aquarius, because Leo is opposite Aquarius. Whatever's opposite. Aries, you had to look at the serpent on the pole. Well, Aquarius, it will be what we call sun worship. But it won't be worship, because it'll be knowledge, understanding. The sun is a portal. The sun is like the master control program here, but it has a program over it, and that's this magic circle. So I don't just like rising signs, I have not found the witness in alchemy yet to say I'm ready to teach on rising signs. I do put them in the charts, and I have to agree, there is definitely something about rising signs that are specific to us. I have Fomalhaut on the horizon during in my natal chart, and there's nothing more prevalent in my life later in life than Fomalhaut. So how can I deny that? When I do your natal charts, I don't just look for what rising sign you are. I tell you, the rest is up to you, your homework. But trying to locate specific stars that are on the horizon at that time. So when I tell you that I know something, that means I've verified it. I have found it in the stars, I found it in alchemy, and I found it in one of the religious books, right? The Bible, the Quran, the Rig Vedas, the Mahabharata, all of Buddha's work. You find it somewhere that has to do with that legend. You get more than one witness. And I have evidence, circumstantial evidence, but I don't have the factual witnesses yet. So where that goes, you know, I leave it up to you. And like I said, the red words tell us that all script is good for knowledge if you know how to read it. But that's why alchemy is so important. Once you get the alchemy, then the script, all the scripts open up to you. All the scriptures, whatever language, tongue, culture, or tradition. Because alchemy surpasses tradition. Just like alchemy, alchemical psychology, ideology outranks the Greeks, the Western tradition, and then the modern day tradition as well. But it's all good for knowledge. Right now we have a whole bunch of knowledge, but very, very little understanding of it. We are basically at kindergarten level. But right now, let me see if this ain't going to work for me here. Let me pause for a second. Okay, see if I can get my pen to write. The eastern gate, well, I'm going to put it over here, is really up in alchemy. The western gate is the fall, right? That's why we call it, it's autumn, but we call it the fall, because that's when the everything changes. So in the east, from the eastern gate all the way over here, actually the eastern gate here now to here, this is considered night in the celestial scheme of things. This is the dark side, and the sun controls everything from the spring equinox to the fall equinox. So this is considered day down here. I know everything looks upside down, don't it? We're in upside down Jupiter's world. So the gates, therefore, the east, I'm going to go ahead and put the north on the bottom, because we've been lied to. South is up here, and West is over here, but this is up. If I turn the clock, actually I wish I could put it right there. We'll just do it at their 23-degree angle. This is east. This is west. Our true up and down, up and down. And that would make, oh, we're on the mutable cross. Right here would be the summer solstice, so that would be south. And our winter, no, that would be north. North. And this would be south. And these marks remain the same. That's the big news, right? That's the big news. That's a celestial axis, and it never changes, but the wheel turns. Now what they do is lock the wheel. I call it the 3-lock box: Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. 3 different calendars running. The Chinese calendar, our Judeo calendar, and then our Greco-Roman, Julian, Gregorian calendars. And they keep locking the clock. They don't want to let it turn. Tropical astrology still starts its house. Thou shalt have no other God before me. It starts in Aries. But that's for the cardinal cross. We're on that mutable cross, but we're moving. All 4 angles are going to move to the fixed position. It's like the lock, and every time that it switches to a different cross, every age we switch to a different cross, in a different element, in a different power. One cross has 4 turns on the wheel, right? Every cross gets 4 chances. Every element the same. Whether it's fixed, mutable, or cardinal. Everybody gets a turn, right? And the name of the game right now is to steal who's in charge. The name of the game right now is Pisces and Aries, these 2 ages, the fire worshippers and the water worshippers have joined forces to try to storm heaven. And they've already done it. They done it at World War II, when all they fled to South America, right? You had Nazis and Jews both fleeing from Europe to South America. Germanic bloodlines, right? German Jews. They all fled down there. The Germanic bloodlines. Remember, the G is the K or the H. So a German is Herman or Kerman. Carmen. That G and that G, H, and K from the different tongues. Let's talk about that real quick. Wow. At the response on apprentices. Before I left the library the other day, I had like 5. Now there are like 25. And again, I don't think y'all know what that entails. It is all consuming. It will eat up every part of your life. You know, I really don't even think it's my choice to make. I think the choice has already been made from the beginning. It was already decided. If it is even one of you. But yeah, I'm ready for an apprentice. I'm ready to start handing down this knowledge. And, you know, I can think all day long. Do I want somebody that knows absolutely nothing so I don't have to deprogram them? Or do I want somebody extremely programmed that's been through the classics? What do you know about Greek? Do you know anything about Arabic? Do you know anything about the languages? Have you read the Bible? How many times? Can you quote scripture to me? Is it embedded in you? All that would be extremely helpful. It would save so much time. But I think the person has already been prepared. I don't think I even have to think about it. I don't have time to deal with it at this moment because of my internet situation. So what I've done is put all your emails in a folder, and I will read each one. I will consider each one. I will allow the Spirit to have its say as well. I'm an empath, so when I read your words, I might even look at your charts. I don't know yet, but yeah. So, if you're interested, and for those of you who have sent an email, I have it, and when I get time, I will go through them. And I probably, if I'm going to move, then I would consider making the decision before I moved. That way, you could have a say or a part in the move, because you definitely have to relocate. This is not something that can be done online. It just can't. It consumes your whole life. It really, really does. It don't become your life anymore. And it's going to require dedication, and get ready to read a lot of books, because that's what I need help with most of all, is separating the material. I have so much information in my head with all these books that I have that I've already read, but I need somebody that can go read those books and then go pull out that, if I ask you, go get me this, this, and this, you can do that. Kind of like Lodge 49, you get to be a dud. If you haven't seen Lodge 49, you need to be watching it. If you missed last season, you can watch it online. It is about Waterworld. They're showing us upside down Waterworld, and the metaphors are off the charts. I'm actually thinking about opening another channel, Patreon, BitChute, something, or open another YouTube channel. I'll have to monetize it, because they're not going to let me put clips of Lodge 49 up there without putting an ad on it, right? I'll have to monetize it, and they get to keep the money. So they let me show the clip, but then they're going to slap an ad on it to pay for usage of that clip, is how they're doing it. So I've thought about that as well. But yeah, I am almost at the decision of just starting a YouTube Lodge 49 channel. There's not one. I've looked for it. I've tried to look to see what other alchemists are saying about it, and it's just not there. Nobody's commenting on it. And I think somebody needs to speak up and at least start presenting what is being presented to us in a coherent fashion, because they're coming at the symbolism. Oh wow, it's the most symbolic thing you will ever watch. But there's 3 or 4 different storylines going on, but the main theme of the storyline is the True Lodge. And the True Lodge, the universe picks. We don't pick. You don't get tapped. You get tapped by the Holy Spirit. And that's kind of how I feel about the apprentice situation. You just stumble into it, right? Never saw it coming. Just find a ring on the beach, and then figure what next thing you know, you're walking through a lodge door. That kind of thing. Yeah. That's how my whole life has been. I think that's the only way life should be. This script running in the heavens, it supersedes any script or life we think we need, want, have, any of that. And once I've embraced mine, I'm the ultimate rebel. I had to be to survive. It made a rebel out of me, and it made me very cautious. I'm very skeptical. I'm one of those people that it's not good enough for me to just read it. You have to prove it to me, and to where it's statistically impossible for it to not be true. So I will analyze everything slap to death before I make a decision, and then I always leave. I have learned that to always leave room for change. This circle is forever about change, which is transmutation. It's about becoming the best soul, the best aware consciousness that we can possibly be. You know, Jesus spent 12 years in Egypt. Do you have any idea what that means? He went through each school. He did the Ophiuchus or Hercules thing, and he learned the lesson of every constellation. They all have a lesson. And we all have lessons to learn while we're here. Our lessons help us with our purpose. If we don't learn our lesson, it's impossible to achieve your purpose. And we can't know any of it without knowing this. All this information is known about us, but not known to us. And that's the big problem here. That's one of the big problems. There are two. There are two big problems with what's going on in this realm. And one is that the truth is being hidden from us. We're being given a pack of lies by a pack of wolves, bad wolves, werewolves, and the robbing of the innocents. Yeah, that's the biggest problem here. That was my issue as a child. Nobody ever talked to me. I was too young. Nobody ever talked to me about sex or reproduction or anything. But when I began being violated, I knew I was being violated. I didn't need somebody to tell me this is wrong. And yeah, that's the problem going on here, is the robbing of the innocence of the children. And it is rampant. It is a worldwide problem. To me, the church does the same thing, because it shames you, it guilts you, and it keeps you in fear. To the average bear, the word apocalypse means doomsday, when it means unveiling. It means exposing truth and lies. That's what it means, which is, I guess, a freaking doomsday for the lies. But it is a dawn for truth. As we move out of this mutable age, we're moving into a stable, fixed age. An age of knowing. An age of understanding. And Capricorn and Aquarius are one under Saturn. So it's not just knowing, it's doing. It's individual sovereignty. No more mass hysteria, groupthink, social constructs. Each man is his own government, his own king, his own authority. You'll never, in the next age, there's going to be no nepotism. It's not going to be because of the color of your skin or your gender. All of that is irrelevant. It's going to be 100% merit. Did you earn it? You reap what you sow. The law of equivalent exchange. Karma and dharma. An eye for an eye. That's funny. Foreign. Foreign. Southern accents. And that's another thing about slang languages. Ebonics and slang languages. They hijacked Ebonics because the the Black American slang was starting to reveal the truth of the phonetics and how they're spell casting us. They choose these fad words. They choose, look at what all they've done to the symbolism. Our spirals are now counterclockwise. Our rainbow flag is upside down. Orange is the new black. It's incredible what they're doing, and nobody's saying nothing. The Mandela effect alone and what it did to corporate symbolism was very telling, almost scary. I try not to do the fear thing. It's useless. It shuts down everything. Fear's the mind killer. So that's why they keep you in fear. I hate the new, there I go with that word again, I dislike the new environmentalist cults. Everything is to the extreme right now. Have you noticed? No moderation. Just stand in the middle. You'll be all right. We'll stand in the middle together. Stuck in the middle with you. I can't think of a better place to be.